welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm doing a vintage cube draft. I have been challenged by Patreon subscriber Femi to trophy with an aggro deck because I always build combo or control. This is episode 3 of this adventure. First 2 episodes not so good, but I'm learning, getting better. This pack has 4th Aerolangus in it, which is a stone banger and also fits into the aggressive shell I've been challenged to build. Fable's really good. Demonic Tutor's in this pack. That card's also really good. I would take Demonic Tutor if there were no stipulations here, but there are, and I am pushing my range, learning how to draft these more aggressive strategies. Let's move in and see if we can make Boros happen. Okie dokie artichokes, big pack here. Palace Jailer is exactly the type of thing I want if I'm in Boros or Mono White. Ancient Tomb is also exactly what I want if I'm in Boros or Mono White. I think Palace Jailer stakes my claim better. Sad to pass that Ancient Tomb. I'm not going to do this for the whole draft, but I would probably have Demonic Tutor Ancient Tomb if I was just drafting on my own here. Palace Jailer in the pile, though. Let's make it happen. Alright, Chain Lightning is an efficient interaction spell, and what I've been missing from my other attempts at aggro in this challenge is the ability to interact with my opponent. Even something as simple as a few lightning bolts in the deck to take off early pressure or kill a planeswalker or something goes a long way compared to just trying to fire aggression down the cannon. I think Phyrexian Metamorph is a very good card. I think Magda is fine for the deck and is likely to wheel. Containment Priest is fine for the deck. Combos with stuff like Flicker Wisp, Parallax Wave, Palace Jailer. But I still think I just want Chain Lightning here. Here we've got Blade Splicer, a solid replaceable 3-drop. Deathcreator Champion, another solid replaceable 3-drop. Deathcreator Champion's been wheeling a lot. I think I want Blade Splicer here. Voldaren Epicure if I want to get low, but I don't think I want to get low. I'm not quite mono red. I'm looking for more of that mid-range big Boros here. Virtue of Loyalty is a card that I've been getting smoked by recently. Any deck with creatures, this becomes unbeatable pretty quickly. I'm not going to be able to cast a Tali in my deck. Not blue. I'm not really ramping in a way that Name Sticker helps. I'm not doing anything with Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Virtue it is. Okay, here's a bunch of cards that could be for my deck. Sarah Paragon is kind of like Luris, in that it recurs stuff from your graveyard. Seasoned Pyromancer gives you some important card selection. Legion Extruder is a shock that can turn creatures into golems later. Interesting. How much do I want a 2-mana shock? And how important is making golems later? Seasoned Pyromancer is also double red, which is tricky. I generally like my base color to be white if I'm doing this. Student of Warfare is here too, but I'm not super stoked about that compared to these other things. I'm going to try Legion Extruder. It's a new card. Gold Span Dragon for the top end. Thraben Inspector to help curve out and get some card advantage. I could just put Gaia's Cradle in my deck. I'm likely to have a lot of creatures, even if I'm not green. Just having a land that taps for like 2 or 3 colorless mana once the game is in the mid-game could be pretty sick. I think I'm going to go with Thraben Inspector, though. Robber of the Rich, Generous Plunderer, or Luminarch Aspirant. All 3 of these cards are good for this archetype. I think I want Aspirant, though. Plunderer can ramp you, but it also ramps your opponent, and it punishes people who are playing lots of artifacts, which is many of the really good cube decks. Robber of the Rich is card advantage. Aspirant is steady addition to the board every turn. I'm going to go for Aspirant. Mana Tithe on the wheel. Hook it to my veins. Treachery's a great card. Tameo is fine. Karn could be in my deck, but I'm not really in the market for that. Dreadhorde Arcanist could find a home. Fire Blast could find a home. How many mountains are actually going to be in this deck? How many spells are actually going to be in this deck? There's at least Chain Lightning. I think it's more likely Arcanist does something than Fire Blast. And we caught Priest on the wheel. Never worried about it. Voldaren Epicure also on the wheel. Raphaelos, Yogwill. These are some powerful cards at the end of the pack here. I'll take the name sticker Goblin, though. And Student of Warfare. Looks like my seat is open. Obviously, did not get Ancient Tomb back. I wasn't expecting it, but I've been surprised before. I would like to prioritize mana fixing if I can. Okay. Oh, geez, Mox Pearl. Well, I was excited about this Inspiring Vantage, but there's an on-color Mox in the pack. I'm obviously taking that. This is early enough that Inspiring Vantage might come back around. I would even take Mana Confluence, honestly. Just anything that makes two of my colors. Get this Mox in here, though. Portable Hull, Burst Lightning, Broadside Bombardiers, Intrepid Adversary. This looks like Broadside to me. That card is so stupid. I like Burst Lightning. I like Intrepid Adversary. I think I will wheel Adversary. Broadside's in the deck. We've got Steamkin. I'm not really red enough that I'm leveraging that particularly well. Wheel of Fortune, not really what this deck is about. Fabled Passage is very bad mana fixing, but in the mid game it works. And it works in the early game too, it's just ugly. I will take Fabled Passage. Bad mana is the fastest way a cube deck can turn to shit, even if your spells are good. We've got Reprieve, double on-color Talisman. This type of deck doesn't usually want to take time off for a Talisman, you just want to cast cards every turn. Dragon's Rage Channeler and Reprieve. Fractured Identity, I could catch that on the splash. Interesting. In my colors, I'm already worried about just being a two-color deck. Adding a blue source, not particularly exciting. But I also think Fractured Identity is so much better than every other card in this pack. Like, I think I'll wheel one of these three other cards I'm thinking about. And just in case I end up with a Hallowed Fountain or something, we're in. I'll just open Mox Sapphire in pack 3. Thalia and Slickshot. I am more interested in Thalia here than Slickshot. I don't have a lot of spells, which means that both Thalia is better and Slickshot is worse. And Thalia impacts my opponents a lot more than Slickshot does. Sunbay Canyon, Rockrun Triome, 2 on-color duels. I'm going to take the one that doesn't come in tapped, even though it hurts me. Hopefully that will matter less in this type of build. Though Rockrun Triome also casts Fractured Identity. Ooh, tricky, tricky, tricky. This is why I love Cube, these tiny little decisions. I think I would rather have Fractured Identity in the sideboard than an ETB tapped land in my main deck. Okay, Adelin's really good. Plateau, oh no, oh no. Okay, Adelin and Shieldbreaker are both really good for my deck, but this is what I'm talking about. You have to make these disciplined calls when they're in front of you. I'm taking Plateau. Sorry, Adelin. I love you. Rewarded with Mystic Confluence. This card's a banger. Trumpeting Carnosaur is good too, but it costs 6. Glimmer Lens is fine. Touch of Spirit Realm's fine. Fire Confluence, stone banger though. And we did wield the Inspiring Vantage. Haven Interrupter, Grim Lavamancer. Interrupter, I would take over Lavamancer, but I'm taking the dual land. And we wield Intrepid Adversary and Burst Lightning. Adversary is a nice mana sink for later, which this deck doesn't get a whole lot of. Burst Lightning is that interaction I was talking about, though. I'm going with Adversary. And we did catch a Hallowed Fountain on the wheel. Fractured Identity could be possible. I'm just keeping the options open. I'm not playing Steamkin in this deck, so that pick was kind of a free roll. We'll see if we get there. And we did wheel Dragon's Rage Channeler, a card that may or may not end up in my deck, but I'll put it in the pile for now. Slickshot also on the wheel. The seat is open. It's so important in Cube to be able to predict what you're going to wheel. Like getting the Thalia and the Slickshot out of that pack, it's as if I opened the pack with 15 cards in it and just got to take the 2 I wanted. Even though I got it late and had to see it twice, I still just got the 2 cards I wanted because my seat's open. Arc Trail versus Unexpectedly Absent in that last pack was actually pretty close, considering there's only 2 cards left in the pack. Oh my god. Wow. When you're open, you're open. Okay, so Adelin on the wheel. Umezawa's Jitte. There is nothing in the cube that's quite like Umezawa's Jitte. I'm not going to take something like a Braid over it. Guardian Scalelord is a big dumb finisher for a deck like this, but Parallax Wave. I am a member of the Church of Parallax Wave. Even if this just removes 2 creatures temporarily for you to bash, it's frequently game ending, and I do have the Containment Priest that can make this just exile 5 creatures forever. And I'm likely to wheel. I'd be happy with Scalelord, Interpreter, Abrade, Jitte in this deck. I'm likely to wheel one of them, at least. Probably the Scale Lord. But I'm taking the Wave. I think Wave versus Jiteo is one of the closest calls yet in this draft, but I like Wave a lot. Benevolent Bodyguard, Highway Robbery, Chandra, Elspeth, Winota. I don't think I'm a Winota deck. Yeah, probably not. I think it's Chandra. And Elspeth pushes damage if you already have creatures and makes creatures if you don't. Chandra, the mana is really good. And with stuff like Wave and Fiery Confluence in the deck, yeah, I like this being a removal spell as well as a threat. And card advantage. Fury and Bloodstained Mire. Headliner Scarlet, likely to wheel, I think. She's pretty good, though. I want Fury. This is interaction. It's a big creature. Bloodstained Mire does fetch Plateau. This is a white and a red source in my deck. Do I think I can wheel Fury? That seems so crazy. Do I need Bloodstained Mire? I might be talking myself into Bloodstained Mire here. I mean, Fury's obviously insane, but casting my spells is going to be really important, and I do have the Plateau. Unholy Heat, Othari, Loren, Stoneforge. There is a Cauldron in this pack that already went by, but I'm not going to move in just for that. Loren is a nice enters the battlefield effect, little 2-for-1 versus most decks in the format. Othari is the type of big Boros banger finisher that I like to have. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm going to get 3 cards from this pack back. Do I think I'm more likely to wheel Loren or Othari? I think I just need 3s more than I need 5s. Inti's great. Esper Sentinel's fine. Steam Vents. Fetches off Bloodstained Mire and cast Fractured Identity. Ooh. That would give me 3 ways to cast Fractured Identity if I take Steam Vents over Inti. Can I wheel Inti? The end of these packs has been pretty good for me. I'm taking Steam Vents. Oliphant is another blue source. Samwise is fine. I don't have Caracas or like Black Lotus or anything really popping off with that. Evangelist is another 3. I think I want Oliphant here. It's a nice way to spend mana in the endgame, and it color fixes early. Gut and Hero of Bladehold. I think I want Gut here. It just comes down sooner. They both do a similar thing, which is if you get into combat, they create a lot of damage. Going for Gut, though. Arid Mesa. Let's make this mana perfect. Okay, Arid Mesa, I'm taking that. Carnage Interpreter did wheel. Guardian Scale Lord did wheel. Do I want Interpreter or Scale Lord now? Fractured Identity is a 5. Fourth Aerolingus is at the top. Carnage Interpreter having to discard your hand can be wild. This is a very big creature, though, for what you get. I'm going to take Interpreter. Elspeth and Winota. I think it's Elspeth. Probably not going to play either of them, though. Selfless Spirit's great. I didn't even see that the first time through. What did I take over that? Athari on the wheel. Look at this. We're just calling shots left and right. Steel Seraph. Is Inti coming back? Was that the Inti pack or is it the next one? I've lost track. Sanguine Evangelist came back. Okay. We're not getting Inti. That's fine. I get Fractured Identity. Dragon's Rage Channeler, probably not making the cut. I have 8 lands plus Mox Pearl. I have 5 functional blue sources with the 2 lands, 2 fetchables, 2 fetches that get the 2 lands, and Oliphant that can get Steam Vents. I did not end up with a whole lot of removal here. Dreadhorde Arcanist really only casts Chain Lightning in the deck. That's going out. Namesticker Goblin, not what I'm looking for. Sanguine Evangelist seems super replaceable in medium. I'm aware of you. I see you. Slickshot Show Off is basically just a flying creature. Yeah, I'm pretty much casting creatures this whole game until like 4 and 5. I think Slickshot is cuttable. Parallax Wave, Palace Jailer, Fiery Confluence. I got a lot of removal at 4 and 5. Steel Seraph can go. And Battlecry's doing a lot of work on Sanguine Evangelist, though. That really multiplies based on how well I've curved out. I think I need 5 more cuts here. That would get me to 16 lands. Well, 15 lands plus Mox Pearl. I can bring in Priest if she's good. Elspeth, I wasn't really excited to be in the deck anyway. I think Evangelist can go. Legion Extruder. I did pick this because I wanted to try it. But it's also 2 mana for 2 damage. And then what? Then I can turn bad creatures into medium creatures for 2 mana, which is a lot in cube. Right, adding lands for the space I have right now so I can help visualize it better. That's 14 mana sources. I'm looking at Mana Tithe, I'm looking at Student of Warfare, I'm looking at Legion Extruder. Virtue's actually a 2-drop creature, we'll put it there. I can bring in Mana Tithe if an opponent seems to be kind of a fair tap-out kind of deck. Like if I can clip somebody's Teferi Hero of Dominaria on turn 4 or 5, that's what I want to be doing with that. Oh, this is sacrifice another artifact. Another artifact? It can't even turn itself into a 3/3? I thought this was sacrifice a creature. Yeah, this card doesn't even do anything. I have Voldaren Epicure, Thraben Inspector, Carnage Interpreter. I'm just looking at where my artifacts are even coming from. Okay, sorry, Legion Extruder. I read this card incorrectly. Yeah, can't even sack itself. Wild. Alright, that card is out. Okay, 15 actual lands. Do I need Fabled Passage anymore? Or can this just be a basic? Because this coming into play tapped is a big cost. I think this can pretty cleanly just be a basic. This is 11 white sources and 10 red. Plus Oliphant does both. Yeah, I think I'm in for this build. Let's try it out. This is Big Boros. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I'm on the play in round 1. This hand's kind of slow. If I draw a 2-drop, it's good, my mana's good. I think I want to mulligan this and curve out a little better. There we go. Much happier with this. I could bottom Chandra because she's the most expensive thing and costs 5 if Thalia sticks, or I could bottom Arc Trail and just keep the density of high power things. I think I'm going to bottom Chandra. Steam Vents go. Opponent's got a Plains. Getting griefed pitching Liliana. Alright. We'll see how much they care about Thalia here, I guess. It is my 2-drop, but Gut is the most powerful card in my hand. At least in terms of putting damage on the board. And the grief didn't get ephemerated. That's good news. That's what I was worried about with the basic planes. Oh, Arc Trail. Okay. That makes sense. Yep. Some sort of white mirror where Thalia is not really at her best. She's still a 2-1 first strike. Valky steals my gut. Ouch. Alright. Powerful disruptive start here. I'd love an Arc Trail right now. Voldaren Epicure. I'll run this out here. And I'm going to attack with Thalia. I'm not going to sack my blood token this turn because they've shown me they have discard and disruption. And there's not many 1-drops I could hit here and be stoked for it. Okay, Valky has morphed into Gut. Are they going to sack the Usher? Probably. Yep. Alright, 4/1 Menace and 2/2. And this just stays a Gut. This doesn't flip back at the end of turn or anything. Blood away this mountain. Oliphant. Probably should have cycled that in the end step. I'll do it now. Get Plateau. I have Othari floating for my next mana. My next mana source casts Othari, unless it's Mox, which Thalia steps on pretty hard. Thalia being a 2-1 first strike is better than attacking here. Okay. First strike beats this unless they have a trick. I'm still going to make the obvious block. Cool, we did it. It's layering combat mechanics on top of each other. Menace versus first strike. Opponent is very friendly. They just smiled and said, like, oh, that's how that works in the chat. This is a good one. Thalia makes it a little worse because I can't just play Gut immediately and get a 4/1. But it is back in my hand. And bringing the Ruckus with my creatures. Okay, they have 5 mana now, which is a scary number. That represents Solitude or Oh no! Him to Turok. Jesus, that was a really good him to Turok. Okay, I'll get in for 3 and hope these beats hold. Othari, no. Just checking none of these are rebels to get Othari back with. They're not. Bone sharding, discarding planes to kill Thalia. Okay, so it's Voldaren Epicure versus a Hellbent opponent. I'm going to fetch the Hallowed Fountain here. Just get it out of the way. Lots of good draws. That's not one of them. I'm just holding this mountain back. If they have Duress or Thoughtseize or something, I want them to cast it. Oy, oy, oy. I'll get the planes out here now. This is 9 of my 16 lands accounted for. Let's draw some spells. Nope, impossible. Get in there, Epicure. You're the chosen one. You have to deal 7 here. Nothing's coming to help you. Oh no! That's suddenly a very good card. Palace Jailer? Virtue of Loyalty. Okay. Well, cast Ardent Veil Fealty, and then cast Virtue of Loyalty. My creatures will become large. At least Sheoldred can't attack now. I mean, it can, but we'll trade off all our resources. Yeah, that showed up a little late. It's okay. If Sheoldred attacks, I can bash for 5 and then untap my squad. Interesting. I go to 7, I draw a card to 5. I'm not blocking. The race is on. Yep, another land. That's fine. Totally normal. Back for 5. Do they have a Solitude? Just some other banger to end my life? Dismember. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, their discard was phenomenal this game, and now I have to chump block the Sheoldred, or else I die. Kinda got roasted by my own Thalia. Tenacious Underd. Oh, was that in the graveyard? Where'd that even come from? Oh, I'm dead. GG. Okay. Came down to a top deck war where I wasn't quite good enough. I think I want Thalia out, just because it doesn't seem to affect their deck very much, and I would prefer a 2-for-1 of some kind. I bring in Sanguine Evangelist. I could see Elspeth being solid here too. I don't want to go too crazy, because that did work out well for a while, and it came down to some well-timed discard to really mess me up. Okay, I'll just make that one switch. I'll keep this hand. Fetch lands undefeated. Chrome Mox. Powerful stuff. Pitched Adanto Vanguard for Tenacious Underdog. I'll get Hallowed Fountain here. Oh wait, Bloodstained doesn't do that. I'm getting Plateau here. Probably should have drawn for turn first. Okay, how do I want to do this? I could double spell. I could Chain Lightning plus Raven Inspector. I think that's what I want to be doing. Yeah, I forgot Bloodstained Mire can't get Hallowed Fountain. I should have just drawn for turn, because I actually do want to hit land drops here. Ooh, opponent passed. Did not have a follow-up for that one. I'm going to attack for 1. Ardent Veil Fealty. Yikes. Well, we're both playing that card, it seems. I decided to hold back on Luminarch Aspirant because I wanted to play my own Virtue of Loyalty, Ardent Veil Fealty. But suddenly they've got one too. Jesus Christ. Alright, well, here comes my copy of this. And my mind is getting twisted. I get to keep one of these. I get to keep the 5-drop perfect. I could cast every other card except for this one. There's a Plains. I'm going to draw from Clue Token. Gut. Okay. I'm going to attack because I'm happy to trade these because they're 1 mana away from Ardent Veil Fealty and I'm a lot. If they just don't have creatures in play when they cast that, it's way less scary. Okay. That's not a Plains. They can start blitzing Tenacious Underdog. Alright, they dismembered. And they can also blitz Tenacious Underdog. This is a lot of damage to them, but also a lot of damage to me, and they get to draw a card. Mox Pearl. Okay. I'll get that out of my hand just in case they have a discard spell. Guts in play now. It can convert Mox Pearl into another thing next turn. Late spell. No! I'm 1 mana away from my busted 5-drop. This has lifelink. Oh, and your last card in hand was also a removal spell. Jesus. Everything is falling apart. Okay. Well, this is not actually good because they have the... And I gotta do what I gotta do here. Exile the Knight token. They have the Blitz Idiot, so I can't even really like use this, but I can remove that and draw a card, and then try to grind back in. Fractured Identity. No blue source. Liliana of the Veil. The hits don't stop. And now they're going to have the Monarch, and I have no creature. Okay, if I draw a blue source, we can be in here. Blue source, haste creature. Some way to do a bunch of damage. Haste creature counts. Broadside Bombardiers. Please don't have an instant speed removal spell in your hand right now. Attack you. Okay, I have the Monarch back. And I am going to kill Elite Spellbinder by throwing my Mox Pearl at it. I know I'm hurting for mana here, but these 5-drops seem like a pipe dream anyway, and I can't just be taking damage and losing the Monarch every turn. If they want to spend 2 life and their turn blitzing the PAL, they can do that. I'm going to discard Fractured Identity, keep the land. They are blitzing the PAL, they're at 6. Okay, if I draw a 2-drop, I can win. Come on, deck. You're full of 2-drops, just hook it up. 2-drop creature, Lauren of the Third Path, that'll do. Hey, destroy Chrome Mox. Attack you to 4, throw this with 5. Holy smokes. What a slugfest. Therefore, I'm the Monarch. 5-ball. Lava asks you a question. What an insane game. I thought I was losing that at every turn. Okay, Legion Extruder for the shock. Is this somewhere I want to be? I don't think so. I'm not a believer. Balancing the... I want cards that hit with a thud when I top deck them because they're a discard deck versus I want to be able to play cards because I'm an aggressive deck is really interesting. Like that game, I play 3 5-drops and I drew all 3 of them into Mild Disruption. Yeah, I am very tempted by this Elspeth, but also, what do I cut for it if I'm doing that? I could cut something like Voldaren Epicure, but that's really good with Gut, and it's good against discard because I can move cards around at instant speed with the blood token. Okay, I'm just hitting submit. Okay, this hand is soft to discard and that sort of disruption, but it hits my lands and it makes it so any top deck is castable. And Sunbaked Canyon is a card on layaway. Wraith Pitching Mind Twist, okay. There you go. This is my hand. Took the Chain Lightning, which probably indicates something like Valky. We've seen this curve out before. Tide Hollow Sculler. Ooh, now you have to take Lauren, because she just kills Sculler. Yep. Adeline gets to survive. Alright, well, I'll get this in now. It does give away the info. That's not the 2-drop I was hoping to curve in with. But here we go. Blue's online. Okay, I'm going to play Evangelist first, because we've seen a ton of removal out of their deck. And Adeline is higher value. Wow, okay. We hadn't seen Reprieve yet, but that's mostly fine. There's only 2 damage in play. Blade Splicer. Okay, there's a lot more than 2 damage in play now. And they have a 3/3 first strike. I'll get my Evangelist in. Battlecry and extra bodies. I like all of that. And now they have to decide. Like the only good attack they have is with the Golem, but they know I have Adeline in hand, which means I'd like to attack on my turn. Selfless Spirit. Sure. The Blade Splicer is attacking. I'll block that with a bat. See if they want to trade Selfless Spirit for a bat token. They do not. Okay. Intrepid Adversary. That's potentially sick. Okay, Adeline. Move to combat. Attack. Make sure to make the 1/1 before the Battlecry trigger. And now this decision to play this 3/1 lifelink right now or try to get a kicker off it next turn. I'm going to try to kick with it next turn. Please don't discard me now. Adeline has Vig, and she's the biggest thing on the board right now. 3/4 Vigilance. Ardenvale Fealty, that's fine. If they have the land drop for Virtue the turn after this, that might be less fine. But I get a huge crack in between. Bone Shards, no! Alright. That's a lot of damage coming my way currently. I miss you, Adeline. Chandra, Torch of Defiance. Hello, hello. Okay. I think I go Chandra, kill Selfless Spirit, and then play Intrepid Adversary just as 3/1 lifelink now. Your creatures are indestructible, that's fine. And 3/1 lifelink comes in. Can't kick it, unfortunately. But Chandra's here. Just going to try to survive. They have Virtue. Their next land casts Virtue. But I do have the board under control right now with a Planeswalker. This is going to be a close one. They killed my lifelink creature. I still have good blocks here. Attacking with your 3/3. I'll just trade off with that. It doesn't have first strike anymore. Blade Splicer's gone. A bat falls out of this. Okay. Ooh, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I could draw a card, see what it is. Just exile my top card, or I could just make the mana. I'm going to see if I can hit an actual card here. Student of Warfare. You're in there. Big fella. Go get him. Level this up to a 3/3 first strike. And I'm going to attack with my bat. I have Virtue of Loyalty still back here if they come up with a removal spell. It cost me 1 to cast it, but that's how my mana base works right now. They hit 5, and they are going for the Virtue. I've got something like that. I believe this is worth the life here to get the 2/2 going. You've got a 3/3 now. Oh, baby. The splash card coming in hot. I have 9 mana right now. Ooh, do I want to get rid of the Sculler, or do I want a Virtue of Loyalty? No, I want to take the Sculler, and that also gets me Lauren, which kills their Virtue. This looks big. Splash card, top rope. Suddenly feeling very good about this game. Hymn to Tarak was the last card in hand. Chandra for mana. Lauren, destroy the Virtue. And attack for a bunch, put them to dead on board, top deck mode. Here they come. Fingers crossed, please hold. And Usher of the Fallen right on time. Ooh, that was a challenging and fun match. On to the next one. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the play in round 2 with a Thalia start. And this is classic Big Boros. 2-drop, no 3-drop, 4-drop. Different 4-drop that gets stopped by my own 2-drop. Planes go. Just playing around Wasteland. Island Shadow Spear. Okay. Inspiring Vantage. Thalia, get in. Hopefully you're a problem for my opponent. And I'd love to draw a 3-drop creature. Ooh. I could Lingus for 0 here and just get the Monarch. Or I could save it till it's much better and just play Palace Jailer next turn. Yeah, I'm going to save the Lingus. The opponent is passing again. Drew Gut. Attack with Thalia. Going to play Gut. Gut was never going to sack Thalia to do that, so I'm just doing it post-combat. Tinker costs 4 here, and I can answer a Blightsteel. Long goodbye the Gut. Okay. Cost 3 to do it. Count it. Adawara. Displacer Kitten. Alright, that's a good one to eat with Palace Jailer. The game's all coming together. And they can't cast a spell because of Thalia. I'm not worried about that flickering. And now I'm the Menarche. I have a Parallax Wave that I can't cast in my hand. Just a bunch of cards that I can't cast because of my own Thalia. Cycling Lorien revealed. Got Underground Sea. Inquisition of Kozilek. Alright, this takes 4th Lingus. Hit the land. And attack with my creatures and then play Chandra and plus her. This plus to deal 2 damage. Can't cast Virtue of Loyalty right now. Drew Adeline. Are you dead? Or do you have some combo? Yeah, pass the turn. Adeline, get in there. Attack for 5. And they scooped it. Alright, just a nice little curve out. Okay, so we saw blue mana, black mana, and a Shadow Spear. That basically gives me no information that I would change my deck based off of. Maybe Containment Priest. Blue-black could be Reanimator. Blue random artifact could be Tinker. Yeah, I'll bring in Containment Priest. And I'm looking at Voldaren Epicure or Student of Warfare as cuts. Probably Student. Okay, let's go. I really like the card selection and random permanent generation of Voldaren Epicure. More than I thought I would. Multi-format staple, Voldaren Epicure. Doesn't tend to be in decks that I play. I like my hand. 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, 5-drop. That's the curve. Gitaxian Probe. Opponent sees what I'm cooking with. Currency Converter. Raven Inspector, Urborg, Kozilek. This probably takes Priest. And Currency Converter is also a discard outlet. Oh, taking Lauren. Okay, cool. That means they're not worried about Priest, which is kind of a bummer. I'll just pass here. I don't have to take damage off Sunbaked Canyon because of Urborg. Sick. Oh, emergency looting. Right on the main phase. This kind of reads like they kept a 2-lander with Gitaxian Probe and haven't found their 3rd land yet. That is exactly what's happening, which on the flip side means that their hand is all spells. Can I draw a land right now for... Nope, no chance. Bummer. Alright, I'll crack my clue. Still no land. Alright, we both kept 2 landers. Disappointing. Adeline there, I think, would have ended the game. Currency Converter can make a 2-2. Gotta watch out for that. Alright, Blade Splicer, you're in. Just need to make something that's bigger than a 2-2. I'm not gonna trade Priest for this. Yeah, looting. Discarded Nettle Cyst. That card actually is, like, solid at stabilizing a board. Thieving Skydiver can take my Phyrexian. This is just forever, right? Yep. Yeah, killing the Skydiver doesn't get that back for me. Be a great turn to draw a land, as usual. Nope, no chance. Okay, I guess I could play Adeline, get her in while the getting's good, and then Chain Lightning next turn. But they do still have another 2-2, so the getting's not even good. I think I'd still rather have Adeline in play than not, but she doesn't actually do anything. And Skydiver is corny. I could just invest in Adeline, park her in play, don't attack, and rip the land for Parallax Wave and just completely take over next turn. I think that's how I'm going to do this. Just patience. You don't have to attack just because you're an aggro deck. You have a flying creature that can push. 4th Aerlingus. If I Chain Lightning the Golem right now, then some good attacks start to emerge. They don't have red to send that back. If I attack with Adeline, they could double block with Rogues. And then I don't have Adeline anymore, but they have basically nothing going on. Okay, just long goodbye. Didn't even have to think about it. Sure. That's dead. No attacks. They are grinding back in, but Parallax Wave is a banger. If we get there. Discarded Lauren Revealed, so they're done with lands. They don't need to find more of those, is what they said. Otawara. Be aware of that just in case there's a game 3. Graveyard Trespasser. That card's really big. Come on, deck. Alright. What order do I want to present these cards in? Parallax Wave is the game ender. I have multiple must counters here. And they do have blue up. I think Chandra is the most middle of the road option. Or I could 4th Aerlingus without any intention of attacking. Yeah, I'm going to 4th Aerlingus for 2 and not attack. Because I don't want to introduce the Monarch to this game. Perfect. Mana drain. They get 4. That's a lot. But they have 1 card in hand. Rogue token. 4 mana coming in off the drain. 2 cards in hand. Currency Converter activation available. And they are looting with Converter. Discarded Saheeli. And then didn't do anything. Okay, getting in it with everybody. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This puts me to 5. I could double block a Rogue and lose Blade Splicer. Or this puts me to 4 because Trespasser also triggers. They can't decide. They're moving in and out. Put your tokens in, you pull your tokens out. Okay, they decided Trespasser is too powerful to go into combat. I'll double block a Rogue here. I lose one of these creatures of their choice. Keep my Containment Priest. They discarded Saheeli, then didn't do anything else. That's a little bit scary. I'm going to cast Chandra here, because then she also casts Arc Trail. If this resolves, I get the double spell, and if it doesn't resolve, I'm still holding Parallax Wave. Red. Why did that resolve? Why did they discard Saheeli, a card they could have cast with a bunch of mana floating, and then also didn't fight over anything else? Deal 2, deal 1. Stabilization game. It also goes back to daytime because I cast 2 spells. We're about to see what they were holding on to. Hull Breacher, sure. Okay. That's a good one. They're piling beats onto Chandra. Still not trading off my Priest. I need her and love her. I'll block Graveyard Trespasser. Chandra goes to 2. Opponent's still chilling over there with a handful of something. Alright, I can double spell this turn. I'm going to make red and go for the wave. Or I could go for Intrepid Adversary first, and if they see the threat of pouring a bunch into this trigger, they might have to respect it. All right, they did not respect it. No mana. All right, please don't daze me. Parallax Wave, Moment of Truth. Infernal Grasp my Priest in response. Okay. That does stop their creatures from being deleted for infinity. But I do still get to temporarily remove them. And their tokens are gone forever regardless. Like, they don't have good attacks right now because of Parallax Wave. All right, they're killing my Intrepid Adversary. I'll slurp that up into the wave. They're going to attack with everything. I'm going to delete everything, then I'm going to play Othari. I should have done this before attacks on the Trespasser. That's a life I didn't need to lose. Bad. This triggers Ward. I'm going to discard Carnage Interpreter. Exile. And this is going face. Yeah, I'll just get rid of that too. Othari is my plan to win this game at this point. This fades down to 0, which means the creatures come back next turn. Red, red. 3, 4, 5. Othari. Let's get in there. No removal. We're in. They can make a 2-2 here. That can trade with my 2-2, or it can attack Chandra back, which makes way more sense. Wow. Okay. Taking the block. Deal, 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 deal. Okay. Chandra is still in play at 4, which means she can kill a creature. Duelist of the Mind. That can die to Chandra. Okay, this fades away. The creatures all come back, which I believe triggers my adversary. It does indeed. So that commits a crime and drains me for 2. Why did they discard a card? Oh, because of Duelist. Okay, I understand. All right, things are making sense to my small brain. Adversary, I think I'm just going to pour in on this. There's multiple giant lifelink creatures now. Draw for turn, Inspiring Vantage. Kill the Hull Breacher or the Duelist. Duelist can become 2 power. Duelist will be 1, 2, 3, potentially 3 power on their turn, which is the same as Hull Breacher. I'm going to kill Hull Breacher and attack with Othari. Maybe I should have killed Glutton and gotten rid of the Fractured Identity. But my creature's at +2/+2, so the Rebel that Othari makes also is big enough to kill Glutton. I think that was supposed to be Glutton, not Hull Breacher. I'm a little worried about them comboing off, though. It's time twistering me. I guess Duelist kills me in that environment anyway. Attack with Othari, make a 4/4. 2 4/4s, right, I forgot I have experience already. That's even better. Removal on my adversary is pretty tough here. They're just making a chump, it seems. And went to 1. Oh, baby. Okay. They're looting, which triggers Duelist. When they attack, they can Glutton, which also triggers Duelist. If they find Time Twister, that's 9, 10, 11, 12 damage, but then I get to gain 5 in combat. This is going to be a tight one. Wow. All right, cool. Big Boros, onto the trophy round.
Welcome to TopDeck.gg, your community's home for everything competitive Magic has to offer. If you're hosting an event, playing for a huge prize, or advertising your events to thousands of players, we've got you covered. Using intuitive pairing software, playing Magic is a breeze. Players just have to sign up online, then scan the QR code in-store. Give competitors the gift of perfect information as their bracket updates in real time. The self-reporting software saves you time and leaves paper match slips in the past. Leave the heavy lifting to TopDeck.gg so your community can relax and focus on playing Magic.
We're on the draw for the final trophy round, and as you can see, the replays are up. My computer died right near the end of this round. Let's play it and catch back up here. I kept this hand. It has all my top end, but it has my colors, my splash colors. It can accelerate, and if you just draw stuff to fill up the curve in the interim, you're fine. And even just the fail case of drawing nothing is turn 3 Chandra. And finding Thraben Inspector is obviously great. Gives me action on 1 and 2 guaranteed. Getting my colors under me here. Nishoba Brawler is a 3/3. I can trade with it in combat if I need to here. And I can just poke it with Chandra next turn. Bristly Bill plus Fetch Land means that Chandra no longer kills this, and we need another plan. Chandra does kill Bristly Bill, though, and then the Brawler can kill Chandra, and then I Fractured Identity Brawler the turn after that, and we still have this all covered. Cycling Oliphant to make sure I have 5 mana pain-free,
And then the Arc Trail actually lets me double action here because I can kill Bristly Bill, pop my Clue, and then Fractured Identity the Brawler next turn without ever exposing Chandra to combat. They've got a Liliana, and now I have a better target for Fractured Identity because I get a Planeswalker and kill their Brawler. And from here, I could slam Othari, but I can double spell with Chandra plus make mana, make Intrepid Adversary, and save the big game-ending banger for next turn. Because I just played two really serious threats, which did cause them to tap out for Terra Sunder, which was a distraction from the real thing, which is Othari. They're down to one card in hand from Liliana activation. They are dead on board. I just gained 6 life. And that is the end of that game. For game 2, I boarded out my Thalia for my Sanguine Batmaker. I forgot the name of that card. Thalia just doesn't seem important versus this creature deck, where having multiple creatures versus the Edict Zoo deck seems pretty good. Keep this hand on the draw. All my colors are here. 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, 5-drop with 4th Aerolingus, wherever I want to put it in between. Leading on Student of Warfare, of course. Opponent kept both of these Surveils, so we know their top cards are things they want. And here the decision is add to the board with Adversary or level up Student. And I liked adding to the board better because this plays around a single removal spell, like 1 Lightning Bolt, 1 Dismember, whatever, and I still have a board. They had a sweeper though, Toxic Deluge. And then the decision here between 4th Aerolingus for X=1, get the Monarch, or make the Evangelist. I wanted to have the Battle Cry on the 4th Aerolingus, but then they had Inquisition of Kozilek to take it. But we're still just dumping out stuff, working our way up to this Fractured Identity. Putting a +1 counter on my flying creature. Sylvan Caryatid, not impressed, and hit the land immediately. Take your Kavu, bash for 1 million. They're going to need another sweeper to survive this one. And here they spend a long time tapping and untapping their lands, trying to figure out how to cast the spell that they have. Here they go, untapping them all again. Realize that they didn't have the correct mana. They needed double red because it's Pyrokinesis, which kills some of my creatures, but they're still dead to my attacks. And Blood token before combat finds Chandra, and this is where we're going to pick it up live. We are back to live recording here. What a miserable spot for my computer to shut down when I have basically the win presented. Okay, opponents at 1. They're going to have to answer my whole board and Chandra without losing another life, and then turn around and kill me from 20. We're so close to this trophy. And we're out! We did it! A trophy with big Boros Enormos. And that will conclude this adventure. I did Selesnya, I did Dimir, and then back to good old Boros. I have 2 trophies this cube season, and they're both with big Boros. What's happening to me here? Lessons from this league are that interaction's good, and Thalia was probably really good against that Dimir opponent. Arc Trail killed 1 or 2 things multiple times. Lauren getting sick 2-for-1s. Chain Lightning picked off some important stuff. Parallax Wave, we spent an entire really cool game dancing around this one, and does this resolve? If it does, I win. And fishing out counterspells around this Parallax Wave. Never drew or looked at Fiery Confluence, another banger. And I think really importantly, the Fractured Identity here. There's a whole story right here among just this card, because I took this was what, like the middle of pack 2, and I didn't have a blue source yet, but I was like, this card's good enough, and we'll see what lands come. And guess what? I have 2 fetch lands and 2 appropriately colored dual lands that are fetchable that could cast this card, plus the Oliphant. So I have 2 dual lands and 3 ways to fetch them, and this card was very good and flipped every game it resolved in. I think there was one game where it sat in my hand uncastable, which is the balance when you play a splash card. But it was also enormous and game-ending anytime I curved into it or even flipped a game from behind. We know Fractured Identity is good, but giving yourself the opportunity to take a card like this and see if the draft supports it, rather than just, putting Dreadhorde Arcanist in your pile because it's safe or whatever. Like, that card ended up in the sideboard anyway. Elspeth ended up in the sideboard anyway. I got more playables than I need. Might as well high roll and see if the mana comes together on a powerful card like this. Femi, the challenge is over. Thank you for sharing it.
pushing and flexing my range, learning how to do other stuff in Cube. This is fun, but I'm glad it's over. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.